welcome back. It's Mixa. So today I'm doing a Q&A on my keto weight loss journey. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my weight loss journey, I was close to 190 pounds when I went in for my C-section. I had a really rough pregnancy and I put on a lot of weight because I turned to food for comfort and I started eating really unhealthy foods in really unhealthy amounts. Even postpartum, I struggled with postpartum depression and I still continue to struggle with that today. Through breastfeeding and just naturally losing some of the pregnancy weight, I was still roughly around 160 pounds when I finally decided to start keto and to start my weight loss journey. So on Instagram, I've been sharing a lot of my weight loss journey, a lot of the meals that I've been eating, and a lot of the keto recipes that I've been trying out, and basically what I do on a day-to-day basis to stay keto. So I have gathered a lot of questions that you guys have been asking me. So we're just gonna jump right into it because I have quite a few questions. Personally, I did keto while I was breastfeeding for probably about 2 or 3 months. Pretty much the entire length of time that I started my weight loss plan. If you guys have no idea what I'm talking about with my weight loss plan, I did do a keto weight loss plan to start off my weight loss journey. It's really complicated and it's a really kind of whole separate topic for another separate video, which is why I filmed a whole separate video. So I will just go ahead and tag that up here in an information card or down below in the description box. You guys can go ahead and watch it. It's much more in depth than I can get in this video. But I did do that and I did stay keto while I was breastfeeding and I had no effects on my breastfeeding or on my breast milk supply. I actually never really had any issues with milk supply. I was always producing a lot more milk than I knew what to do with, and my entire freezer was stocked up with breast milk. But yes, you definitely can do keto while breastfeeding. You can consume a few extra keto snacks or just add a little bit more protein and veggies to your meal and just maybe consume a little bit more calories than your typical non-breastfeeding person would, because you are feeding a whole nother human being with your breast milk. So you do want to make sure that you're still getting in enough calories to supply yourself and your baby and get enough nutrients for your baby. I ordered my scale off of Amazon. I have it linked down below for you guys if you guys want to order it. It is an affiliate link, so if you guys do purchase through that link, I do get a small commission off of that, just so you guys know. But I love it. It was only about 20 bucks. It has lasted me, I think, over a year now since I started my journey, my weight loss journey. It's great. It measures your weight, of course. Hi, baby. So it measures your weight, it measures your BMI, it measures your muscle mass. Hi, baby, I'll be there in a little bit. Okay, give me 1 minute. It measures your BMI, your water content, your muscle mass, and I think your bone density as well. So it's a really great scale. It's really accurate as well. So far, I love it, and everybody in my house uses it as well. You can program it for multiple users to use it as well, so it'll keep track of their information. You can put in your height, how old you are, obviously what gender you are, and it'll kind of tell you what your BMI is off of that as well. Oh my god, I think that this could be like a whole separate video, but my biggest tip on getting started with keto is doing your research. I think that it is really important to kind of know what you're getting yourself into when you're starting keto, and knowing the basics of keto and what keto is, how it works, why it works, and what's the science behind it, and then get started on kind of making a list of groceries to buy and make sure you stock up on a lot of keto snacks, because the one thing that I noticed when I started keto is that I was craving the most outrageous things that I never really ate when I wasn't on a diet. So I think keeping, you're probably gonna crave chips, so your best alternative are pork rinds. If you guys love those, I love that with some salsa Valentina, and it's so good. For a sweet tooth, I would recommend Chalk Zero. They're my favorite chocolate out there. You could also do Lily's, but I prefer Chalk Zero. And make sure that you meal prep as much as you possibly can. The more that you have foods already pre-made for you, you're gonna reach more for that as opposed to trying to dine out. Which brings me to another thing. I think you should also kind of know ahead, your favorite eat out places, fast food places. Know what the keto version or keto friendly takeout meal from that place would be, so that if you are in a pickle and you do need to get some food from a fast food place, then at least you know what to get that's going to be keto friendly and is not going to knock you out of ketosis. For me, my biggest motivation was the fact that I was going through postpartum depression, and I was in a really, really bad place, having really, really bad, scary, dark thoughts. I just wanted to do something where I felt like myself again and I felt happy about life, because I wasn't at that time. And so when I was told that through this weight loss plan I could feel happy and feel more energy, I was like, okay, cool, like I want to try that. I want this as a last ditch effort to not have to go through antidepressants and have to go on medication for my depression and anxiety. And honestly, that was my biggest motivation. The fact that I just wanted to be present in life with my daughter and with my family. And that's what kept me motivated through the entire time. And I think that once you stick to it and you see the results, that then becomes your new motivation, because you just see your body changing and you see like how far you've come and how far you've, how much you've changed with your habits and eating habits and your health habits. I think that becomes your new motivation. So I know it's really hard to find that motivation and that drive to stay on a diet, but I think you also can't go into it thinking that it's just a diet. It has to be a life change. It has to be something long-term. It can't just be another diet, because if you just think of it as this is just another diet, you're most likely not going to succeed. So I definitely encourage you to look into your life a little bit deeper and look into what motivates you and why do you really want to start this journey. Like, why do you really want to lose the weight? Is it just for vanity reasons, or is it more health reasons, or is it more to just feel happier about life because you're just not in a good place? I definitely think that once you think about something that's a lot deeper than just I want to be skinny, I think you're going to be more successful. I was actually just talking about this on my Instagram stories a couple days ago, but when I first started my weight loss plan back in 2017, I decided to start it the last day that I was taking my finals, and I thought, I'll be fine. I won't get the keto flu until like a couple days afterwards. Nope, I got it probably 2 bars into like the entire plan, and I just remember it being like a really intense headache and feeling just kind of like groggy and almost like a head cold. And I since then had never gotten the keto flu again, even though I was going on and off of keto and going through long periods of time where I wasn't eating keto and eating pretty high carb, high sugary stuff, and then going back to keto. I never felt the keto flu until this past week when I actually started taking this product called ketones that Bang sent me, the energy drink company. They sent me a package, and it's supposed to boost your ketones and get you into ketosis a lot quicker, and that gave me the keto flu like instantly as soon as I finished drinking the first drink. So yes, I've gotten the keto flu. For me, I think the best thing is to kind of just leave it as it is, because to me, it doesn't bother me a whole lot. I don't think my keto flu was ever like really intense. And I know that for some people it can be, but for me, it was just kind of like a mild headache. So it wasn't that big of a deal. You can take like chicken broth or eat some bone broth if you want to, just something that's like light chicken soup or something like that that can help soothe your headache. I think that'll be really good to kind of do instead of doing like the over-the-counter stuff. I started with a weight loss plan, and that was keto based. I probably lost, I want to say like 8 pounds within 3 days. So and that was mostly water weight, because you will find that you're dropping a lot of pounds and you'll get really excited, and you should get really excited because it's a really exciting process to go through a weight loss journey, but it's mostly just water weight. And then after that, I did kind of slow down a little bit, and I lost about 30 pounds in about 3 months. 2 or 3 months I lost 30 pounds. Again, I have another video kind of talking about that, but that was my initial kind of weight loss journey. After that, when I went on to just doing keto on my own, the weight loss was still pretty quick. I was dropping probably about a pound a day, and even so when I was doing my weight loss journey, I was losing about a pound a day. And then I did my 3-day water fast, which I lost 8 pounds during those 3 days. Again, it's mostly like a ton of water weight, but there was some kind of fat loss as well. So yeah, for me, I did see a lot of results really quickly, and for some people it's not quite as quick as for others, but for me it was really quick, fortunately. So I was really lucky in that. I think it has to be keto pizza, which is basically cauliflower pizza. I got the cauliflower crust recipe from Dr. Berg, which I will link down below. And then I think just like your basic like salads, I think salad and any type of protein is just really easy. For me, it's really the really easy meals that get me. Keto waffles are my favorite. Right now I have keto pumpkin waffles, which I do have the recipe for. I will have the link down below. And then another one, I should have probably just chosen one, but another one that I really do like are the Quest protein cookies, because they're really easy. And again, I'm a college student, so I need really easy meals. So that's just like a really quick grab and go with coffee. You're set. You have breakfast in and you're done. This is hard to say because everybody does keto so differently, and there are a lot of people out there that can be the keto police and tell you that you've been doing keto all wrong and everything that you thought you knew you don't, and there's only one right way to do keto. And I think that that is absolutely absurd. I don't think that there's any really right or wrong way, aside from the fact that of course you want to stay low carb and not do a ton of sugar. But for me, I was never really strict on keto, and a lot of people would probably tell me that I was doing it wrong, but I got the results. I went from 100 and almost 90 pounds to 117. So obviously I was doing something right. For me, I don't think that it's really important to count calories. I think what's more important is that you get in your fat and enough protein, and just making sure that you don't consume a ton of sugar. I personally never counted calories. For some reason, my body just worked with, you know, just eating lower carb and not having to track anything or worrying too much about what I ate and what I didn't eat. Again, to an extent, because I did make sure that I wasn't eating high carb and, you know, high sugar or anything like that. But for the most part, you know, some days I would eat more protein than others. Some days I barely got in any fat. Some days I barely got in any vegetables. Every person is really different, and everybody's body is different and will react to keto a little bit different. Some people it's a little bit harder to lose the weight, and I think that you do need to kind of count calories and track macros more if you're finding that it's just your body's not really being so adaptive or so receptive to the weight loss. It might be more beneficial to have an app that tracks your calories and tracks your fat and protein intake maybe, but whether or not I personally did, no, I didn't. I've never tracked macros because again, I didn't really feel like my body needed to, and that's just another added stress of making sure that I'm staying right on top of how much I can consume in one day. It just wasn't the kind of lifestyle I wanted to live personally, and since my body was so receptive to losing the weight without having to do that, I just never did, and I never bothered with it. But again, you might be someone who can't drop the pounds quite as easily, and you might benefit from tracking your macros more than I did personally. So I do think it's for some people and it isn't for others. So it just really depends. I think you just kind of have to get into it and see where you're at and see how your body reacts to it and see whether or not it's something that you might or might not need. I got quite a few questions regarding my water fast, which again, if you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, I will have that video linked down below and up in the information cards as well. I definitely wouldn't think that that's probably something that you want to do. Again, you're trying to feed a whole nother human being with your breast milk, and if you're not consuming anything but water, there are going to be no nutrients in that breast milk for your baby. And at the end of the day, your biggest concern should be your baby. And if you're trying to lose weight, I don't think that going through a water fast is the best way to go. I say start doing keto or just start trying to incorporate healthier foods and then kind of transition into keto if that's something that you want to do. But please, please, please do not do a water fast if you're breastfeeding. I just don't think that that's the smartest thing that you could do for you or your baby. No, I don't think that it would be really normal to feel bloated. In fact, I think you should feel less bloated when you start the keto diet. But that being said, if you are staying keto and you're just feeling bloated one day all of a sudden, it's probably something that you ate. And even though something might be keto friendly, your body might react to it a little bit differently. I do find that like some days when I eat certain proteins, the next day I will feel a little bit kind of heavier and more bloated. And it isn't to say that I ate something that wasn't keto, I did, but it's just sometimes your body just reacts to certain proteins or certain foods a little bit differently, and you might feel a little bit bloated. So that's just a way for you to kind of know, like, maybe next time don't eat as much, or just try to, you know, not eat it altogether. I think it's really a learning curve with keto, and you'll find that some foods make you feel better than others, even though they're all keto friendly. But yeah, it's definitely a learning curve. Only when I'm doing the keto, or when I'm going through the keto flu, which again, I've only experienced twice now, it's pretty normal. If you're feeling that too often or for too long of a stretch of time, it may be that you're not eating as much food. I don't really think that you should be getting headaches if you've passed that, or you're past that keto flu stage. I think that's definitely something to talk to a doctor about, or kind of reassess what you're eating and kind of, you know, start fresh again and see what's going on, because I don't think that's normal if you're not in the keto flu. But if you are in the keto flu, then that's perfectly normal. Try finding recipes that will be alternatives to your cravings, and then try finding snacks that are keto friendly. Like there's keto friendly ice cream that would satisfy your sweet tooth. Zero chocolate would definitely satisfy your sweet tooth. So it's all about finding products and recipes that are alternatives to things that you already eat that are non-keto. I've done a lot of questions. I think maybe I'm just gonna do one more. Somebody asked me about a keto lechera recipe, which is keto sweetened condensed milk. I didn't make that recipe myself, so I will link down below the recipe that I got it from the blog that I got it from. All right guys, so that wraps up this Q&A. It was kind of long, so I'm thinking maybe we could do a part 2. If you guys have any other questions regarding keto or weight loss, or just about my journey in general, you guys can go ahead and ask me in the comment section below, or follow me on Instagram. It's @MixaSecundo. You guys can also go ahead and send me questions there through DM, or sometimes I will go ahead and just submit like a poll and just have you guys ask me as many questions as you guys would like to. I had a lot of fun doing this. I hope that you guys did too, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.